Hello everybody, I'm very sorry not to be able to be with you. I was in Geneva up to yesterday, but I had to leave for an important commitment in the United States. I'm going to speak about the Italian experience, which is from very point of view inspirational and practical, because I was, from the inspirational point of view, certainly inspired by the Global Charter of the World Federation of Public Health Association, and in particular by the 4 enablers that allow decision makers to make a difference, in particular in the field of vaccination. So information, capacity, advocacy and governance are the 4 steps that led me to make a substantial change in the field of vaccination in Italy. First of all, in 2014, I was appointed by the government president of the Italian National Institute of Health, and very few weeks after my appointment, there was a major outbreak of measles. At that time, Romania and Italy were major contributors, essentially the 2 European countries in the 5 top list in the global rank of countries spreading measles all over the world, but for different reasons. Romania, as you know, had problems in procuring vaccines, in buying vaccines, in particular in distributing vaccines in the rural areas, while Italy had a lot of vaccines, but vaccine hesitancy and in particular the active campaign of anti-vaxxers led to a major drop in vaccination coverage on measles, reaching a situation in which we had thousands of cases. So I launched the alarm and I spoke with the Minister of Health. She was very ready to understand the importance of the alarm, and she very much supported me. And together we went in different arenas to spread the news. Of course, we spoke in institutions, ministries of health, regions, local health authorities, but we also spoke with the scientific community, general doctors, pediatricians, public health. We went to media, so we engaged television, radio in order to speak about the problem, and we also engaged in social media. So we launched the alarm, and in particular we were very much supported by the Commissioner, Andriukaitis, who supported very much this kind of approach. And then of course happened something which shocked the nation, which was the death of a young kid, 3 months in Bologna. And the death of this young kid due to whooping cough was a shock for the nation, a shock for the pediatricians, and for the first time a change in the attitude by the general population. So the mother of this young kid, rather than of course crying only, I called her, we spoke, and she decided to make a call on change.org, urging the parents not to hesitate to vaccinate children, but to urge them to listen to the scientists, listen to public health people, listen to institutions, and take the initiatives to protect their children. We were very happy. For the first time, a mother started these initiatives. More than 35,000 mothers in the first day of this petition on change.org signed the petition. So we were, for the first time, supported also by the general population. We also engaged some celebrities. I mean, we had a very important Paralympic champions who had meningitis and suffered of several problems after the meningitis. She's very active. She's very strong in using even strong images such as this one, and we use that image in order to make the people understanding that meningitis was a serious challenge. But we didn't only engage in communication, we create also an opportunity via a change in the law. Was very difficult, was a fight in the parliament, but in July that year, of 2017, we made a change in the law, reintroducing mandatory vaccination. We wanted to make mandatory vaccines, 12 vaccines. At the end was 10 vaccines, but this was a major success that essentially obliged all the parents to protect the children with vaccination, and with this law it was impossible for unvaccinated children to access primary school. This, after a lot of discussion, after a lot of resistance by anti-vax movement, was passed in the parliament that summer and was immediately a major success. In less than 1 year, we recovered the coverage in vaccination increased substantially, and now, even if we don't have the herd immunity reached in all the regions, we can say that we are almost there. And we are very happy that we could achieve in this result in such a relatively short time. Of course, we paid a price. We were attacked, the minister and myself, with false accusations, conflict of interest, being corrupted, being paid by the multinational of vaccines, being, of course, unethical and inhuman in exposing children to some unsafe. And we were also object of very aggressive campaign on social media and even a book about. But we resisted. We resisted up to the very last days when, for different reasons, but including this, I resigned from my role as president of the Italian National Institute of Health because there was a change in government, and the current government is in some domain scientific, but in the field of vaccine, at least part of the coalition government, it is anti-scientific. Just to give you an idea, the deputy prime minister is saying that so many vaccines are useless and harmful. So you can imagine that my embarrassment being the head of the technical body of the National Health Services, having a government like this. But our fight, our commitment has not been in vain. Thousands of children have been protected, thousands of children have been vaccinated, thousands of children are just safe. And as a personal satisfaction, I can tell you that the President of the Republic took the initiative of awarding me a knighthood. So I was knighted by the President of the Republic. What can I say? That together with Martin McKee, a colleague from the public health community, we are trying to make this kind of approach not only for very experienced senior people, but for all the young generation of public health professionals. And you can see in the slides that with our new approach to public health training, first, we want to stimulate curiosity. Second, we want to produce people who are willing to take the initiatives. Third, we want to help people to make connections. Scientists, public health professionals have to work with politicians. Fourth, we want to convey the big picture, not only the specific procedures, but the big picture, a vision, a systemic vision. Sixth, we must support people to engage the key decision makers at all levels. And seventh, we must ensure that our students' approaches to public health are firmly grounded in human rights. So what I can conclude is, to summarize this short talk, again quoting my friend and colleague Martin McKee, read history to avoid making the same mistakes twice. Don't assume that people know facts, because they usually don't, in particularly politicians. Make the invisible visible. People, problems, conditions, you have to show them up. Everything is possible. I mean, now you know that many countries are following. France followed the following years, but now Ireland, Germany, the Netherlands, and even the United Kingdom are taking into account the possibility to reintroduce a mandatory vaccination, something which was unbelievable even last years. Speak truth to power. Don't be afraid, because we are the people that want essentially the good for our population, and in some cases we have to speak up for the weakest part of the populations, because politicians are often wrong. Communicate your messages. clearly and simply. So sometimes we scientists are happy when a very complicated paper is published on highly impact journal. This is very important for us, for our career, but sometimes it's not the most important fact for taking the right decisions. Giving information is often not enough because there is a cognitive bias. We know that 2-3% of the population will never be convinced, but we have to convince the 20-30% that in this case are hesitant, in particularly hesitant parents for vaccinating their children, and know who you are up against. As I said there are a lot of people that will be fighting you even with dirty tricks. Don't be afraid, fight up, stand up. And I'm sure that in the field of vaccination, this will be the most important satisfaction. Protecting the most vulnerable people, children, elderly people, I think is the highest satisfaction that a public health professional can have. Thank you very much for your attention and enjoy the workshop. I would like to be with you. I am with you. Thank you very much.